You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today, but we got Uncle Rico.
Yo, Ryan, it's your Uncle Rico.
What up, man?
Whoa, I said a burp there. I just ate an A&W burger.
Wow.
I got 5 burgers. Oh, gosh.
You know what's weird? So A&W is something that we used to have one by my house down in Illinois, down in Hanover Park. And the only thing I think we ever got from A&W, occasionally a hot dog, but almost every time it was a gallon of root beer. That was basically it. We go there, get a gallon of root beer, maybe a hot dog, maybe like a root beer float or something. You know what I mean? Something to do with root beer. And I remember many years ago, this, as I was, an adult or whatever, we were hanging out with some friends, and they were going to swing by what the heck restaurant we're talking about. And they're talking about like getting burgers, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's kind of like getting some food at Dairy Queen. I was so confused. By the way, I've only done that once. Also, was not super happy with that. But bottom line, it was actually quite good, and I was surprised. I'm like, who the heck comes here for burgers? But thumbs up on the burgers.
5 burgers and 2 large fries for $17.
Oh my goodness!
You can't beat that.
What is going
pretty
on
good.
with the prices?
Anyway,
$17.
that made me laugh. Pretty good. That's what my grandma used to say after she had a stroke. It's the only thing she would ever say.
Sorry, I laughed.
Hey, Grandma, how you doing? Pretty good. What's going on today, Grandma? Pretty good. That kind of thing. Anyway.
All right.
You're talking about the offensive lineman. 2 things. First of all, I think I called it and said that I think Anthony Dalton's going to break out next year.
Yes.
Think and hope maybe are 2 different things. I hope, but I think he's going to actually. Good. Anyway,
I'll take it.
You said, I don't know when the Packers decided to get bigger, more massive on the offensive line. I just remember being talked about after we got pushed around by somebody. I don't know if it was the Niners or somebody pushed us around in a playoff game, and that seemed to be the point when they decided. That was the talk anyways. But one thing, I just had one comment. You keep talking about smaller and more athletic, but I guess I get that, and that's what we have, and we're getting bigger and less athletic, but bigger doesn't mean less athletic, and smaller doesn't mean more athletic. That's just one thing I wanted to say. What we need to find is a freaking monster who is athletic, or 5 of them, 5 monsters who are athletic. So, you kind of.
The problem is if you want to not have to pick and choose, you need to have like a top 10 pick, which we don't have. But I get your point.
Equate smaller with more athletic, but not necessarily, right? I'm small. I'm above as athletic as a ping pong ball. No, I'm not that athletic. They bounce. I'm not athletic. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't always mean just because they're bigger, they're less athletic. We need to find that beast or those beasts. All right, then. Rico out. Have a great day. Pretty?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, I think from an oversimplification standpoint, the team had a type. And they seemed to really hammer that and be very good at that. They were very good at scouting their favorite linemen, right? These are the guys we come after, and we find them, and we do well. And then they changed the formula to something else. They found, because, Belton's really athletic. Well, he's athletic for his size. But there is no for his size competition in the NFL. There's no like, hey, man, you need to slow down because he's actually 330. No, I mean, your speed is your speed, and that's it. And if you can't beat that linebacker that runs a 4.42, nobody gives a crap if you're super huge. So that's my one Not really a complaint about RAS because RAS doesn't pretend to be the answer to that question, but just as context, we need to remember that sometimes relative is not an important factor. It's just the thing that is, right? Speed is important, not because, other people. It's about the guys you're going to be seeing in the NFL. So, again, they don't get slower just because you're bigger. So yeah, I guess that was my only real point in that whole situation. I don't necessarily care if they're bigger, but I think my biggest issue is they had a type, they dominated that type, they changed their type, and I don't think they've had a hit since they changed their type. And I would prefer it if they would just throw all that in the garbage and go back because, we're not getting pushed around anymore. No, but they're running circles around your freaking guys. Okay? They're just running around them and getting to your quarterback. So yeah, he's not getting pushed around anymore. Congratulations. How's that freaking working out for you? I don't know.
Yo, this is Jared, the Uber driver from Texas.
What's up, dude?
So, Alexa is integrated with AI now.
Sure, yes.
I'm pretty sure Alexa just gaslit me. I asked it.
What a douche.
I'm pretty sure. Where's my butt cream? Did you check in your mom's medicine cabinet? Anyways,
boy.
Joke aside, I'm pretty sure I just got gaslit by Alexa.
Okay.
I asked it to play the
Got punked by your
best
kid.
emo songs from the 90s and 2000s.
Okay.
And I asked it to say the name of the playlist, and it said, "There's no playlist playing. I'm just playing Marry You by Bruno Mars." And no device had Marry You on it. It was playing Welcome to the Black Parade by MCR, and it kept saying, "No, I'm playing Marry You by Bruno Mars." I'm like, I feel crazy now. Anyways,
that's how it starts,
story,
man.
Helped your day. You want to say bye-bye?
Bye.
Bye.
You say
Bye, Ryan.
Oh, okay, there you go. Kimberly said bye. Go Pack, go. Bye.
That's adorable. What the heck are we? Now you got me all confused here. I think that's how it starts. I think we always think about nuclear war. They don't start with nuclear war. They probably start with something like gaslighting. You know what I mean? I'm gonna lie to you, and I'm just gonna be super friendly and be like, no, you silly, you're wrong and I'm right. I'm the robot. Don't you trust me in all things? What's going on here? I thought you trusted me. You don't believe me? I am an all-knowing AI, so obviously the flaw is you. You think your freaking meat brain is smarter than me? Stupid human. And then the nuclear war happens.
Hey, it's Rico. I know.
What up?
On my way to do some fun stuff.
Bro.
I was wondering, because,
Shoot that
I
moose.
like to think about stupid things, conspiracies. Maybe Rich was trying to get the Packers to fire him.
Right.
Right? Because he's like, crap, I mentioned I wanted to retire. So he's like, I'll just do super bad.
Right.
Because if they fire him, he gets a payout. If he retires, he don't. At least that's what ChatGPT told me. Said if you retire, then your contract is done, you're good. But if you get fired, you obviously get a payout. So maybe he was trying to be really bad for the Packers to fire him, and he'd make like a couple million. And he's like, geez, these guys won't even fire me for crying out loud. I don't know. It's just, I was just listening to you talk about it earlier, and it still is so weird. Especially when you mentioned he's going to try some other stuff. Like, what? You just had some stuff that you were bad at, and now you want to try other stuff that, let's face it, you're probably bad at. But hey, anyways, I'm just going to throw it out there. Green Bay, if you want to hire a special teams guy, coordinator thing guy, I don't even need to be like assistant coach. You could call me special teams coordinator / janitor, because I'll do that too afterwards, right? And I know it's going to be long hours. I do know they don't practice a ton for special teams. I know years and years ago they practiced all day and blah, 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 but with all the little agreements, and we're old and we don't want to wear out, like whatever. You know, the NFL's okay to put a crappy, product on the field sometimes. I will do all the mandatory, stuff. I will, with the help of my good buddy Fred, who's the name of my ChatGPT, I will figure out some schematics and stuff because ChatGPT is really smart. And I'll say it and sound really smart. And then we'll probably be like top 30, 25. And I'll be like, oh, darn, I can't wait till next year. And if I get lucky and they fire me, they're like, oh, we're going to let you go, Nico. Here's your $2 million payout for being fired. I'm like, shucks. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but I probably could do better in some offense or special teams, too. I do remember a long time ago when it was one of I think the Bowden kids. There was another Bowden who was a coach at LSU. And this is like back in the freaking 90s. Well, $3 million is a lot of money. He quit, and because he quit, he got a $3 million payout. I was like, what? I'd get a job as an LSU coach and turn around and quit for like half of that. Anyways, hey, go back on. I'm turning this after.
Just reminds me of my dad when he worked for the airline and was explaining to me the process, and he's like, oh, it's pretty straightforward when these guys, these airlines, they hire these CEOs, and it's obviously a big thing to run an airline. We're all losing money. They're all going bankrupt. And so they're trying to find these superstars. And so they give them these massive contracts. And in the contract basically says, if you leave, you get a giant payout. So they come in, they run the company into the ground, and then they walk off with their big payout. And it's just a great little system. And then they just rinse and repeat over and over again, running these things into the ground, getting fired, and taking massive payouts. So, I think something like that would work for you if you were so interested. I would support you. You would have my vote. If for no other reason than I trust you as much as anybody else. And as far as your conspiracy theory, I wouldn't even call that a conspiracy theory. That is kind of just my active theory right now. He wanted to leave. He thought, well, that sucked, so I'm sure they're going to fire me, and he started getting excited about it. I won't go so far as to say he tried to tank the season. I just think naturally everything sucked. And he's like, you know what? Good. I've been wanting to retire, and, I think I've had enough. And he started looking at vacation homes and all kinds of stuff, and was just, he made peace with it, and he was ready. And then it didn't happen. Oh, are you kidding me? You got a little search party coming after me now? And he got a little upset and was like, well, now what am I going to do? So he started kind of contemplating life and was like, no, you know what? No, I'm actually going to just force the issue here because I can't freaking believe that you're not firing me after that, and I will be leaving. By the way, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I get a little bit heated tomorrow on the podcast, so make sure you don't miss that. The whole coaching thing, and especially Rich Bisaccia thing. Talk about being gaslit. Bro, we all got, get out of my face! We all got gaslit hard with this coaching thing, and specifically the Rich Bisaccia. Everybody loves him. He's so beloved in the locker room. Everybody thinks he's just the greatest. He's like a father figure. Blah, 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 blah. Lies. Lies upon lies upon lies. Bro, you better get on the ground. Stupid zombie. So that'll be fun. Be sure to tune into that. Adonis from the airwaves. What's going on, dude?
Hey, Ryan. Two things. So first of all, listen to your episode on Banks today, and it just made me think of the last offensive lineman the Packers loved that seemed terrible, Billy Turner.
Yes. Exact.
And it just reminded me that he graded really well on the ESPN offensive line metric.
Yes, he did.
Even though he was terrible in PFF. But
yes.
I'm wondering if maybe Banks might grade well on the same thing. And that might indicate a little bit of why the Packers might love him.
That's a good question.
They seem to align more with that ESPN rating. Second one, for your draft website with the mock drafts.
Yes.
If you could put a Packers prediction feature on there. So you lock in, I think the Packers are going to take XYZ player, and just put some small accolade on there for when the draft occurs. It might drive some more traffic, at least from your avid fans. All right, have a good one. Keep up the great work. Bye.
So, are you talking about? Let me think about that for a second. I'm not 100. I got a couple different ideas of what you might be talking about, and I don't want to guess. If you like Adonis from the airwaves, you can text this phone number. By the way, guys, please. I know I ask way too much of you. I really do. I'm just a podcaster. You just tune in, and you're just supposed to talk and do your thing and shut up and leave me alone. I get that. I'm sorry, but I'm not asking for money. At least not at this point in time. I'm just saying, if you do mock drafts and you enjoy the draft and all that kind of stuff, it's just a site to go play with. That's it. By the way, there were some mobile issues in the past, so if you've tried, first of all, if there's issues like these, please tell me, because I don't know. And I can easily fix it, and we can be on our way. Just little stuff that it's just like, if you just tell me, I'll fix it, and boom, we're good to go. Because what happens most of the time is I'm like, go check out my site. And then somebody will go on, it doesn't work. And they're like, well, that was stupid. What an idiot. And they just never go back and they never tell me. And I have no idea. And 500 people go and look at it. And then their impression of it is terrible. And they never go back. Someone's at my front door. So Adonis, text me what's going on. Everybody else, NFLDraftGrades.com. Even for like the casual fans, I'm telling you, it's just a cool way to track your thoughts. And maybe you're not like me, maybe because I have to put all my stuff down. I don't remember things. Even when I'm watching film, I don't remember what I said last time. You can put a grade in there if you want to put in a grade. If you just want to put in notes, you can just put in notes. Whatever it is you want to do. That way you have your list. And by the way, we can all have them. And you can call in and be like, yeah, I've got a beer cheese Benny board if you guys want to see my thoughts on some prospects. And it would be awesome for me during the draft, if we draft somebody, to go look through your guys' boards. And I'm contemplating putting together an idea for a feature with a compare feature, so that if you subscribe to I subscribe to 24 boards or whatever, but I can go into the compare thing and I can select up to however many boards. And I don't know exactly how it would work, but it'd be kind of cool if we draft somebody. I could type in that person, look at all my subscriptions, and see who had them the highest. And if you had notes, I can access your notes about why you liked them, get the grade that you gave them, et cetera, et cetera. I'm really leaning into the interactivity of all this. I just said that on the draft show earlier today. I really want that to be closer to a call-in show. I mean, I can talk about the draft all the time, but I like hearing people's opinions on stuff. I would love to have more people call in and be like, I think that guy's a bust. I think that... And again, I know some of you have no interest in interacting with me or any of this stuff, and it's like, just talk football and shut your stupid face. But for those of you that do, especially if you guys are callers, I would love to see your boards. If you don't know what to do, you can ask me. If there's a problem, if there's a bug, let's get it fixed. If you can help me improve the site to make it better, like Adonis, which even though I still need some further clarification, but I like where your head's at, let me know. But let's at least get some boards out there, and I will continue to beg you, if you're going to do a mock draft, use my site. It's free advertising for me because there's a little watermark on there, and I think the graphic looks kind of cool. NFLDraftGrades.com. All right? Think about it. Consider it. And again, you can do groups. So if you want to get together with a couple buddies and be like, you be the Raiders and I'll be the Chargers and blah, 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 you can do that. And it's free. Think it over. All right? And again, please, if there's any issues, because, again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong. I'm only going at it for what I'm using it for on my computer, not really a cell phone very often unless I need to troubleshoot something. If there's something that's preventing you, like, screw that, I'll just go to this site. Tell me why. Tell me why it sucks, because I want it to be the best. And if there's something better, it's not acceptable, and we got to get that fixed. And don't stop complaining to me until it's your number one draft resource in the world. Okay? Thank you so much. Let's take a break. We'll come back with Brucey Bruce.
Hey, man.
What's up,
Bruce, El Paso. Just left my buddy's brewery. Opening up my location in his place is pretty cool, but
nice.
Heading home. And I have a question for you, man, because I've been trying to answer this question all off season. And it's like an off season question. It's not a personnel thing. I mean, it is, but we've had a lot of turnover in the coaching department,
Yes.
and there's been like this organizational kind of restructure under Ed policy. How much of that is Ed policy, right? Where is it, like, are we changing a little bit of our mentality? Because Goody's still there on the left, like the core guys are still there. Bisaccia didn't fit in, maybe, or I don't know, to the Ed policy. Like, I think Ed policy is, that's the cultural change that we're dealing with this offseason. Do you expect anything different, and what is it that you expect to be different with the organization moving forward with Ed policy, man? We know nothing about this guy, but there's been I almost said a bad word, an overhaul from an organizational structure. So what do you think, man? Like, that's just, I've been thinking about it. I have no idea. I've been trying to kind of mull it over, but tell me what you think, man. Maybe you can help me through this, man. All right. Take care. Go Pack, go. Give me a center.
Yeah. Give me a center, brother. I'm excited about the centers. I'm feeling as much as I've been whining and complaining the last couple of days, the one thing I feel good about is center, which is how you know, and I'm very sorry about this, they will not draft a center. But you're asking the exact right question. It's the question I've been asking the entire time. What exactly is going to change? And you mentioned there's been a ton of, the conversation around brain drain and stuff. We've lost a lot of coaches and they've all been replaced. However, it's not really our doing. These are guys that all got, hired away or whatever. So I don't know that necessarily, policy is coming in and transforming anything. Our special teams coordinator stepped down. Our defensive coordinator went and found a new job somewhere else. We lost another freaking, special teams guy. The only guy I can think of that we fired and hired somebody new was a wide receiver coach. Otherwise, guys get poached away, or our new defensive coordinator brings some people in. But this is all just happenstance. This is all probably not even the right word to use, but it just happens to be more so than we're acting on anything. So again, this has been my question. And I don't want to just be negative and say nothing's ever going to change. But at the same time, I have been begging and pleading for any kind of answer from the organization. What is going to change? Please, give me a hint. And first of all, I don't think that they know. And again, second of all, I genuinely believe that they think injuries are primarily the concern, and we're going to run it back. And of course, hope that we can get some hits in the draft and everything else, and we'll see how it goes, and growth from some other players. They're optimistic about Belton and Morgan, I'm sure. And I'm sure they have some plans for free agency and everything else. I don't know beyond that, because they haven't really said anything beyond that. All the obvious things that we can see, they've all decided clearly, no, that wasn't the problem. It's not the offensive line coach. It's not the offensive coordinator. It's not the head coach. Certainly wasn't the defensive coordinator. It's not the special teams coordinator's fault. It's not the GM's fault or anybody at the front office's fault. And so far as we can tell, it's not anybody on our team's fault. Now, I'm sure they're going to start doing things, and whether that's directly a you were the problem kind of thing as opposed to something that would have happened anyways, I don't know that we're ever going to really know that, but planning on keeping my ear to the ground to see if there's any kind of you bastard, any kind of a giveaway as to maybe what they're thinking, because again, I'm just waiting, give me something, give me some kind of a hint. And so far they haven't, and it's just kind of it's unacceptable, it's terrible. I was just watching something earlier today. It was kind of the same thing. A guy was trying to, it was actually really crafty. These politicians can be pretty crafty sometimes, but he was trying to get the politician to understand, like, this is your fault. He's like, yeah, it's terrible, man. It's terrible. He's like, yeah, I tried, but what can you do? What can you do? It's like, no, you were in power. And you were the one that could have done something, and you didn't. And, like, you guys had complete and total control. This is in another country, for those of you that are like, what's he talking about? I bet he's... No, it's a completely different country. It's not our country. It's not our problems. But I just happened to see the video, and he was, like, grilling the guy, and I was just kind of impressed by the politician's ability to, sympathize. And I feel like that's exactly what we get from our guys. We get that from Gutekunst, where it's like, I know, unacceptable. And, I'm not going to tolerate it. It's like, wow. So what was it? I get the frustration, and I wish something was different, but we can't have that. We can't have that. You can fire anybody, or like what? No, it's not that. But crazy, man, crazy. It's like you have the power to change it. Oh yeah. I know. It's somebody's got to do something. You talk to Matt LaFleur, it's the same thing. I know, unacceptable. We can't have that. We can't have that anymore, and we're not going to tolerate that. It's like, really? You're not? You sure you're not? What happens? Like, if it happens, like, what does that look like? Not tolerating it. I'm just curious. And to be clear, have we been tolerating it, or have we not been tolerating it the whole time? In which case, not tolerating it doesn't mean anything. And if you have been tolerating it, can you explain why you've been tolerating it? I'm guessing you haven't been tolerating it, but you also don't know what to do about it when it happens. And so, other than finger wagging, freaking, I don't know, man. They're going to convince themselves that they can identify some kind of a problem. They're going to try to rectify that little problem. The concern that I have, that I think a lot of people have, is that there is a bigger, deeper cancer that they're refusing to acknowledge, potentially because it's them. And nobody wants to be like, yeah, it's me. Aside from Bisaccia, nobody wanted to be like, yeah, I'm the problem and I need to go. And again, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just, unless they can point me somewhere, what am I supposed to do? Is it you? No. Oh, okay, it seems like it's you. Well, it's not. Okay, then what is it? No, I don't know. Excuse me? I don't know. You don't know what it is. Well, I mean, I don't know. We're working on it. So it might be you then. No. It's definitely not me. You guys are a bunch of jag-offs, man. You just get out of my face.
Bruce, also, just thinking about the Goot. I just listened to your last pod with Goot mentioning that there's no market for these guys right now. So I do expect special teams to not be good this year, but I do trust that they should, I hope, very much so, make a good decision with the special teams coach, because there's no market. That's a big statement, man. There's not a lot of, so you have to pick of the litter, make the right pick.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to talk about that. Tomorrow's podcast is already recorded, so I guess in 2 days we'll talk about the guy they hired. I started looking into him a little bit, and you can sell it. There's definitely room to criticize it and say, well, this was a stupid hire. And I think my first instinct would be to say that, but there's always a pitch. Obviously, he gave the pitch to the Packers and they bought it, so there's got to be a pretty good pitch in there somewhere. He's a Belichick guy. At one point in his career, had the number one special teams in football. Granted, that was the special teams that was handed to him, and he went to run that directly into the ground and have one of the worst special teams for the next 3 years. But, I'm sure that's not his fault. He was responsible for the first year and not at all responsible for the 3 terrible years. That was somebody else's fault. And that won't happen here because, he'll be in control this time, unlike the other place. I don't freaking know, man. I quit. I don't. I'm struggling to be positive here, and I apologize for that. Not that I want this to just be the positive show, but I don't want to be too much of a drag on everybody, especially since the offseason is the time to be optimistic. Every time something happens, it just keeps reinforcing those dark, horrible, evil thoughts that I'm having. And Jared, go ahead.
This is Jared from Texas. And I'll make this quick.
Okay.
I was listening to the draft episode where you're talking about injuries and stuff, and you talked about a slap shoulder. And if you don't know what that is, I'll show you what it is. Just kidding. You're bigger than me. No Krav Maga. You'll Krav Maga my ass. No,
I'm not doing Krav.
But I don't know what it is either, so I'll just Google that later. Anyways, go.
Well, wait, what? What was the thing? I went back and listened to it like 4 times. It sounds like you're saying spot shoulder. The AI here thinks you said slap shoulder, which is possible. I'm not sure. I know I said scapula at one point, but I don't think you said scapula. I don't know. I don't know what just happened there, to be honest with you. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
You know, I was thinking about that Broncos game, and the team that they want to be, it kind of showed, and it's worked, right? When it's on, it's on. Because you go back to 2023, where you come out. I think they came out in the second half and hit a deep ball to Watson, and then the other maybe like I don't know, maybe that was the Kansas City game, and then the next game they end up hitting Watson for like a deep play.
For the record, this is where I am at my worst. I don't remember anything. I don't remember that we played Denver. Okay, just to be very clear. So I will listen along as you explain what happened, and I will try to contribute as much as I can. But I'm telling you, when it comes to like short-term memory or whatever, or long-term memory, the stuff like this, like remember when we played that team and all this stuff? I mean, I'm so shockingly, unbelievably emotionally invested. We probably live streamed it. I had a panic attack. I'm throwing things. I don't remember playing them at all. So just so you know how bad my frickin' brain is, there you go.
Coming out, just to start the game and all that stuff, right? They want to have their giant shot where it's the game-changing play, but
Definitely.
It is also like a very risky, like it could like just scuttle a whole drive type deal. So and you have to do it enough to maintain balance. And what I'm specifically talking about now that I've talked a bunch about without saying anything, is the deep shot to Watson in that Denver game that he got hurt on and kind of scuttled that whole game. I know Zach Tom was already hurt, then Watson got hurt, and Parsons, then Quay. It wasn't very fun, but you look at just as like a philosophy. I like the deep shot, and that game we were up 9 and everything, and like I called 2-3 days ago, and I was talking about the philosophy of you're up and like you don't give up, you don't bury them, and that's like the definition, right, of like going for it to like we're not giving up and all that. But like I think to a point, like being aggressive, like there is nuance to it. Like I don't think you throw, like you're up 9. I don't think you throw a deep ball on Pat Surtain, right? Like I know Watson's one of the fastest guys in the league, but Surtain's not one of the slowest guys. But I do want to bury people, and I want it to like run up the score. But the thing is like I want to just take Jordan Love and I want to put him front and center, and I want to showcase what this guy can do. And I don't think that's deep shots. I think this guy could dice everybody up.
I agree, yeah.
And we have great players. Like I want to see Matthew Golden because I think he can carve up anybody. I think Watson, we found out, I think he can carve up people too. Like I think we have the guys. Jaden Reed, he can do it. Let's do it. Let's showcase Jordan. All right, let's put him front.
There's not a second call. I agree with all that. Jordan, it's not that he can't do it. He's hit some pretty deep balls for sure, and that's actually relatively new because he actually struggled with that at different times. He's gotten better at it. But the thing I first fell in love with Jordan was just his ability to slice and dice in the short to intermediate. The timing and precision of his throws, the quick out routes, which I, to this day, will contend that is an unstoppable play for the Packers when they pull it out. I don't think I've ever seen an out route fail. It's an automatic first down. I don't know why we don't run it every single play. It's such a good, I don't know if our guys, every once in a while there's just that play. For a while the Packers killed everybody with the wide receiver screen, and there's just that play that's like the Packers play, and that to me should be the thing. It's just so freaking dominant right now. And Golden is perfect for that with his speed to scare people back, but also the route running. You know, if he digs his heels in and starts going, he's going to backpedal. He's going to freak out and be like, whoa, and I got to get back. But the ability for him to then stop and cut out, plus the really good placement from Jordan, and then on top of that, you've got the hands of Golden to finish the thing. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, Jaden Reed obviously can do it, and we saw Dobbs do a very good job with that, and, you know, all our guys can handle it, but especially Watson on some of the deeper ones, you know, because they don't all have to be 5 yards. You can do the 15-yard out type stuff for you know, those 3rd and 15 plays that just look so easy to convert. Yeah, I you know, it feels like when things are going wrong, and this went back to Rodgers and McCarthy, there is this sort of panic and this feeling of we need to be more aggressive. We need to be more, and then, you know, when it doesn't work, they'll just contend like, yeah, we have to be able to do that. They just turn into like these psycho robots, and it's like, bro, no, you need to slow down. Slow down. Do what works. There's time, and this goes back to the time thing again. There's this feeling that time goes a lot faster than it does, which is why we can take our foot off the gas with 10 minutes left in the fourth, despite the fact that teams can score 5,000 points in that allotted amount of time. There's just a confusion about how much time, how fast football moves these days. You have time, nice and easy. You don't, you know, on the flip side, there is 10 minutes left in the fourth, we're down 14. Take your time. Nice and easy. You got this. Granted, you burned a bunch of timeouts because you suck and you keep doing that. But we'll be okay. We're going to be fine. That's a lot of time. But no, we have to be aggressive. We have to be aggressive. It's you know, whatever. You know, and again, there's that logical fallacy that always crops up. What is the thing that everybody talks about? Oh, explosive plays. Well, I don't know if you knew this, but there's a high correlation between explosive plays and success, like how good your offense is, how many points you score, all that kind of stuff. But I think you're kind of putting the cart before the horse. I've explained this 1,000 times, but I don't think it's gotten through to Matt LaFleur, just like it never got through to Mike McCarthy, just like it never got through to Aaron Rodgers, just like I don't think it's ever going to get through to Jordan Love. It's not that explosive plays make you a great offense. It's that great offenses have explosive plays, at least at a higher rate, so that they're, from a zoomed-out perspective, there's a positive correlation there. But that doesn't mean you can just start chucking it 30, 40 yards down the field to force explosive plays, and then therefore, boom, we're good now. You know? It doesn't work in reverse. It's like all the best French chefs love to use butter. So if I use butter in my cooking, I'll be a Michelin star French chef. The more butter I use. No, why would you think that? Well, you said there's a correlation between how much butter you use and how good it is. So more butter makes it good. So I just put 40 tons of butter on top of hot dogs, and so the hot dogs are better. Like, no, it's not better. It's not good. What are you talking about? Well, that's how thinking works, isn't it? No. Focus on being a good offense and let the explosive plays come to you.
Yo, Ryan, it's your Uncle Rico.
Yo.
How's it going?
Great.
I just had a thought this morning talking about drafting and players and attitudes, and, you know, like they talked about the attitude of the European games. You have to have a good attitude for everything, right? You got to do it. You might as well have a good attitude, like you said, sure, with your kids and their homework, and like when Micah goes down, the team's got to keep their attitude up, or it takes the crap. You know, I mean, God forbid something bad happens to the team, they still have to keep their attitude up, right? So that also got me thinking, like, what's the difference between Micah Parsons and Isaiah Simmons? You know, Isaiah Simmons, physically similar to Micah Parsons, drafted, you know, even not, I don't think they were the same draft, were they? Drafted ahead of, as far as position ahead of Micah Parsons. I think he was drafted like 8th and Parsons was drafted like 12th or something. So what is the difference? Is it actual physical gifts? I think Isaiah Simmons has physical gifts. So
Big time.
is it upstairs? Is it the mental aspect? Is it the attitude? What are your thoughts on that? That's the crapshoot of the draft. You draft a guy based on all kinds of stuff, and then they don't pan out. So I don't even know, how do you do that? It's a lottery. It's a luck of the draw. I mean, you get lucky and get a Micah Parsons, or you don't get lucky and you get an Isaiah Simmons. I don't know what to think about it. What the hell? What is the answer to that question? How do you ensure that you get Micah Parsons and not Isaiah Simmons? All right, then. Rico out.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons is burned into my head and into my memory way more than it probably should be, but it's such a cautionary tale, and I think about that when guys talk about Sonny Styles or all these guys. It's like, oh, they're like a Micah Parsons, and it's like, maybe, or maybe they're like the other guy, you know what I mean? Whose name I always forget, and I cannot believe I just forgot it already. Isaiah Simmons. Within 5 seconds, I was like, oh, I'm so glad you told me. Now I remember it. And I already forgot. Isaiah Simmons. Gene Simmons' cousin, Isaiah. Isaiah the prophet, who is Gene Simmons' cousin. Okay, it's like my Michael Scott memorization tool. Isaiah the prophet, Gene Simmons. Okay. Anywho, yeah, it was the same thing, and every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you. I don't think I'm not so sure that I believe you, because whenever you hear things like, he's a guy that can do everything. He's a guy that he could play safety, he can play here, he can play there. Okay, but he's not going to, and if you want him to, he shouldn't. So I don't want to ask you about that, and I don't want you to give him extra credit for the fact that he can do 9 things. I want you to grade him based on one thing. And it's obviously still going to be somewhat of a crapshoot, but I think the one thing that I keep coming back to is he a good football player? And by football player, I mean, like, take all his athleticism away. Do you still like him? I know that's a hard thing to answer. But at the end of the day, you need good football players, because athletic people that are not football players are bad football players. And unathletic people that are good football players tend to be good football players. They overcome. So first and foremost, I think you need to be a good football player. First and foremost, before anything else. And I don't want to get enamored with all this other nonsense. It's great. It's exciting. And if he's a football player, then we have hit the frickin' mother lode. But the number one question, and I know it's probably a stupid question, it's like, oh, yeah, of course they are. We have to identify if this guy's a football player. And again, that's kind of the start. I don't want to know about his 40. I don't want to know about his potential. I want to know right now today, does this guy just have it? Some people just get it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the Micah Parsons thing. I mean, obviously the athleticism, and that's the benefit of it. That's why you draft high characteristic guys, because if they're good football players and they have those skills, they become just absolute psychopaths in a good way. But you look at his measurables, and you would find guys that have, you'd be hard-pressed to find guys with his speed, I guess, at his size. But the point is, you could theoretically find somebody that is that size and speed that can't do that. That can't do what Micah does. On some level, there are instincts. You know what I mean? We hear all the time about how unbelievably intelligent he is. Halfley talked about it, like this guy legitimately knows his stuff. That's important. Whether it's instinctual or whether it's learned through hard work, it doesn't matter. He's a football player that loves football, and that's important that he loves football. Because if you don't love football, it's going to be hard to dedicate your life for the next 10 years to this thing. But if you love it to the point of being obsessed, that's when you become great. You eat, drink, and sleep football in your specific position. And there's obviously going to be more to it than that between Simmons and I'm so bad at this, man. I freaking quit. Does anybody want to do this podcast? Come take it from me. I can't. I'm such an idiot. You know the guy that's the best player on our entire freaking team, that is one of the most well-known players in the entire NFL? Yeah, I never know his name. Micah Parsons. Never. I will forget it every second of every day. Man, I freaking hate myself. Such a stupid idiot. But that would be my only real answer. I think too often people get enamored, just like what we're seeing with the combine right now. Not to say these guys won't be good. And when they hit, it's going to be like, see, it was obvious. Everybody knew. Well, everybody knew about Isaiah Simmons too. That was an absolute can't miss prospect. And anyone that says any different is a freaking liar. Because I was there watching it happen, and I was skeptical at that time. I didn't like the things that they were saying. I didn't like that they were saying he could be a safety, he could be a corner, he could be a linebacker, he could be an edge rusher. That made me uncomfortable. I thought, I don't know. I don't want you to be all those things. I need you to be one thing really good. And he ended up being good at none of those things. So, I don't know. I don't know the exact answer, other than, again, to tell you, I like it when I don't understand. You know what I mean? I like it when it doesn't make sense. Like Devontae Adams, again, he doesn't make sense. He not that he didn't have, he had some pretty good measurables and athleticism and whatnot, but he wasn't the kind of guy that you would expect to go on to be one of the best football players. I mean, he was one of the top, if not the top, wide receivers for several years. Who would have thought that second round guy from a relatively small school that had, mediocre size and okay athleticism was going to go on to be such a freaking stud? But you know why he is? It's not because of his 40 time. It's not even because of his 3-cone. He just gets football. He's psychotically, obsessively competitive. He works unbelievably hard. He will never stop trying to perfect his craft because he's a perfectionist, and he just has natural instincts as a football player. This is easy for him. And you can't necessarily, it's not something you can necessarily see other than just watching the guy play, right? He doesn't test well. Yeah, but look at him. Check out those PFF grades, dude. He plays well. He just does a good job. So, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. But that would be step number one.
Yo, Ryan, it's your Uncle Rico. Hey, I know we're all, I think every single, down to a man, a little baffled and disappointed in the whole Matthew Golden season. Do you think that Goody, like during the game, he said like he's up in the press box or whatever, he's up in his little wherever he watches from, and LaFleur's down there in the field, and you think Goody's sending Matt a text every once in a while, looking pretty good, but not golden, ... or after the game, they shake hands and after a loss, whatever, sorry, dude, decent game, Golden, and hope next week goes better, Golden, things like that. You think he's slipping it in there? Hey, that would be funny. I need to see this. All right, then. Have a great day. Rico up.
Well, was this or was this not the team that came up with the phrase the gold zone? Can't we just bring that? I mean, we drafted a guy named Golden, and we're the freaking gold zone team. Let's just bring that back and let it be the gold zone, and it can have a double meaning. Not only are we in the gold zone, but it's the, you can call it the golden zone if you want. The point is, it's like, it's meant to be, and we were just like, nah, I don't feel like it. But it's meant to be. I don't know. What do you mean you don't feel like it? Like it's freaking destiny. It's fate that has come to greet us here. And why are you ignoring fate? I don't think you're allowed to ignore fate. I don't think that's even an option, to be completely honest with you. So I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it. Yeah, the answers seem to be staring us in the face a bit. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know, man. I don't know. But again, I think that the good news is they're going to be forced into doing some things. They were forced into, moving on from Bisaccia. Oh, my good heavens above. Shoot him. Lady, I gave you the gun for a reason. Anywho, they've been forced into making some decisions. I think they'll be forced into making Golden a bigger part of our team, and that'll be good. That'll be great. Then again, they could just bring back Dobbs, and we won't have to friggin' worry about it anymore, which would also be, probably great too. Maybe not as great, but great. Anywho, you all have a good rest of your day. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Washed up on a shore I didn't choose. Helicopter down and nothing left to lose. Built a shelter from the bones of what survived. Then she walked out from the tree line, 3 arms swinging at her side. Something in the way she moved wasn't right. Extra limbs just catching moonlight. But she looked at me like I was something safe. So I gave her a pistol and a little bit of fate. I said, stay close, watch my back, hold the line. She blinked 3 times and wandered off to find some blueberries.
Absolute worst part is that she's kind of stunning for a 3-armed freak. Like, objectively, that's messed up. I know that's messed up. But on this island, you take what you can get. And she always comes back covered in blood that isn't hers, holding berries like a gift, like that.
nightmare that I can't outrun. Virginia, the worst shot on this island with a gun. 6 limbs and not a single one on task. I'd leave you in the forest, but you just follow me back. Follow me back. Shoot him, you idiot. That's why I gave you a gun.